Welcome back. This is Zephyr, and we're going to be continuing today with Bob Johnson, the sage that uses heavy weapons for some reason because I could, and has purple hair and sideburns. Yep. Because why not? Now, is that purple or is it pink? Yeah, you can decide. What do we got on this guy? Where's my rings? Oh, we don't have the capacity to have that ring. A note that all rings, charms, amulets, whatever you want to call them, internally they're called charms, these 4 slots in the corners. These are all charms. And in the mod, they stack completely. You're using the Blade of Teeth. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to cover is the change to artifacts that I have done. Let's see here. Max health, max boast, max stamina. Rolling speed, max stamina. Rolling speed could be really good. I am doing experimental change to the numbers on artifacts. And I will start to work towards some stuff here with my character. How artifacts work in the base game is quite different from how they work in the mod, so if you're not familiar with that, I'm sorry. There's just completely different stats, and a lot of things have been simplified. We're going to go play against the Terramancer. Don't think we've killed the Terramancer. Do we have an attack speed one? Well, both of those are really bad. Max health, max stamina, rolling speed. I'm going to go with the rolling speed. I'm going to say that might be more valuable, but that's just a thought. Artifacts in the mod have been changed to do something slightly different, where because a few playtesters have kind of made comments of maybe the numbers being a tad high. A little aggressive. What I'm doing is I'm adjusting them to be kind of more soft breakpoint based. So what you'll see is slightly lower values, and I do mean slightly, between levels 0 and 5. And then at level 6, I'm always nervous about those dudes. At level 6, you will get a slight boost. So whether you craft them with a bolster, you upgrade them with a bolster, or you find them, and level 6 is approximately kind of where we're at. Little ledge here, just FYI. We'll do this. We'll do this. We will... Oh, come on. Oh, no! There we go. Oh, let's see what's in here. I think it's... Oh, no, it's not. Root Spoken, though, is pretty good as far as I'm aware. There's the knee break of going down platforms too quickly. But yeah, artifacts will just have a little bit of a nerf in the context of the mod. It's not in the context of the base game. So how it'll work is if you can bolster it to like level 6, this specific artifact, its per level bonuses will increase at level 6 in kind of a one fell swoop. So anything below level 6 is going to have like 0.25 per level bonus of the previous version of the game. Now this is preliminary, this is not released, so I am just playing directly on the, so to say, debug version of the game. And I died because I am too slow and I am aggressive. This is what happens when you just swing your sword and don't think. I need that door open. That would be helpful. We are getting 8 defense to everything by popping the Guiltless. He evaporated. We're just gonna skip through this a bit faster this time. The secondary breakpoint is level 11. See if the dude is over here. Blue Blossom is good if you're a mage. Dude is not here. Don't remember what triggers him to be there. Thought it was just... So this brings us back here, just for reference. Oh. Wow, I stood on that too short of a time to break it. If you come this way, you can get a bunch of different things. One of the primary things is... Talking to this guy, if you're not familiar, will give you this Alterstone Vintage, which will allow you to do the DLC looking thing. So I say DLC, it is free content. It was added post-release, I don't know, 18 months after release. It's a secondary area where there's a bunch of different things you can do. You can join all the creeds at once, by the way. So you can just talk to that guy and say yes. There's a PvP arena in there, kind of a Super Smash Brothers, everybody has so many lives, everyone has one potion kind of deal. And then there's also... There's also a PvE arena where you can gauntlet mages, and it does waves of mages, and then as you beat each tier, you... I don't remember if I need to talk to that guy for very much, but... Just make sure we exhaust all his dialogues. What was I talking about? This is a fast travel point. Very useful. I do prefer actual Metroidvania, Dark Souls 1 world connecting points, but I'll take fast travel where it makes sense to. No! You killed me once, I won't let it happen again. Oh. I really dislike the, this weapon. It just, I don't like it. I know what it was going for, but it just feels lackluster. Oh yeah, PvE arena, you can fight a bunch of mages. Every time you beat a round, a new mage spawns in. When you get to the final round, you have to fight 2 mages, and then when you beat the entire gauntlet, it levels up your gauntlet options. And so you can... so you can get some serious farming done from that as well. As the minions and stuff still drop items, they just don't... all the salt that you would normally get is relegated to the end of the mission, so to say. So that is unique, I guess. Mages are preset to spawn in specific spots when a run exists. So you will see this mage every time, and you don't have to do an arena battle with them. So if you chase them down, they're still considered a wild mage. Obviously, they're going to be a little harder to find because you're already in an active mage hunt. So the whatchamacallit. Ow, really? You staggered me midair like that? The smoke trail that leads you to the boss is going to be limited to the current boss. So it's a little harder to track a wild mage in the middle of a fight that's already going on. Enchanting this weapon, if I didn't mention this last video, it gives it fire damage as a dot. So it is separate from the fire damage as hit based. Ow. Take that. What do we got here? I did look at this just a second ago, right? Also, I totally glitched out that ledge. That is interesting. Rolling speed or defenses. 8% defenses is bad, so I'm not going to go for that. Range damage. Free ammunition, restocking speed. Not like we have a whole lot of options there. Only have 1 relic in that spot. There's a dude somewhere in here. No? Okay. These two are going to just duke it out. We'll let them do that. That still targets me when he is fighting something else. Always cool. Let's see here. Doing damage to his minions does do damage to him, so we should have some missing health. Yes, we do. He loves to jump after certain moves. Jump or dash, I should say. So be wary of that. He is physical resistant. So he'll do that ground. Oh, that's disappointing. Kind of an easy boss if you have a decently leveled weapon. You have to dodge into or through, not through, but at the same time as a lot of his ground attacks. I've had a couple people actually say over the years, one was very recently, that it would be interesting if you could jump a lot of his ground attacks. I think that makes sense. If you can play around your aerials and just do stuff, stuff like that. Let's see here. This, you could do that in the first game, and so being able to do stuff like that against the Earth boss makes sense to me, and apparently to other people. And would be cool to have options other than, simply dodging through it or whatever. It does remove some of the uniqueness of that ability is meant to be dodged kind of differently than others. But it's also the Earthmancer. It makes sense that you could also dodge him the other way. So you'd have two ways of dodging him if you can't pull off the timing of the first, maybe. Or just feel like you don't like it. I don't know why I'm going all the way back here when I could have just taken the obelisk. We'll just go this way. There's an obelisk over here. I got turned around with what I wanted to do. So we'll just go back to town. That's the real thing I wanted to do, was go back to town and level up. We beat the Earth Dude. Increases physical defense. It's probably 10. Yeah, it's 10. We could also do a ring for poise and heal on perfect block. Ooh. Not sure if that's worth it. Can we craft two? We can. Let's do that one and that one. I don't need stamina as much as I totally would love to have that attempt. Is there another ring we can craft here? Amplifies range gain. Increases poise. So that'll give us 5 poise. That does stack in this game, in the mod. So you could... we're going for the light armor here, actually. Apparently we can upgrade our weapon. Let's do our chest piece. You always want to do chest first. It's the largest of your percentage, so to say. It's a 10% bonus like the first game. But it's something like... Oh, man. Man, that's really bad stats. Light. Something like the chess piece is like 40 or 50% of your total stats. Let's see here. 4.6, so it was probably like 4.2. And then this is 1.6. And then 1.2. So, yeah, 2.4. So it's something like chest, boot, helmet, glove, I think. That's the order you want to upgrade in. Chest, boot, helmet, glove. Because of they give certain stats. Not stats. Percentages of the total set, so to say. So we were going into... Got that. Go into some two-hander stuff. It gives us damage. Oh, Okay, and then we've got some salt silver bags here. I haven't rescued this guy, apparently. Normally you'd be able to buy, with your silver, you'd be able to buy some stuff there. I didn't open this either. There, we'll open that. That's not open yet, so okay. You do not lose a crazy amount of silver in this mod, so if you die, you lose 10% like you did in the first game, and that stat is no longer in any way on... I don't know why some of this is certain colors, but sure. But yeah, you can get salt fine, but there's no like salt retained, and there's no silver retained. Those are just gone. I just felt like they were empty promise type stats, like they just weren't of a significant value. I should have looked at crafting a weapon from that guy, and I crafted a bunch of other stuff instead, but it is what it is. Last episode, I did mention that I was working on some other stuff. You know, life is busy. So that's taken me away from working on the Diablo 2 mod a lot. And I am working on my own game now. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. We're sitting at just under 100 hours of code time. I didn't track all my planning and other creative endeavors within that. Just kind of hands-on code, so... it also doesn't include a lot of the code planning. So, It wasn't originally a serious project, and then it became a serious project, so... I was kind of just estimating some stuff. Guy loves to be super aggressive, by the way. Stagger is the worst element against him. I like that you can jump these guys pretty easily. Ah! As I get hit by literally all three of them. There we go. I just fought that guy on another character, and he killed me twice, and it was really sad. Poise damage, Runic Arcs cast speed, rage buildup. I am getting really unlucky with these. I like the rage buildup, and the poise damage really isn't helping me at all. Poise damage does help for some things, such as dealing with... so like mages have the head grab attack. That is caused by poise. So if you have... If you want to get more of those kind of hits, then... Okay, that's the Nameless Terramancer. We're not going to start that, thank you. I'm not a huge fan of these dudes. Primarily because they have the same attack as the dude we just killed. And it's a really obnoxious ability. Maybe if it was less of them at once, but it's enough of them that if you get hit by all of them, I think he insta-kills you. Still. So he's just as strong as the boss, basically. Just trying to find kind of a shortcut that I can unlock. There's a couple in here. I think this is just literally right outside the door of... Okay, that's the Unclean Oasis. That's not where I was thinking it was. I think there's one that leads right to... At least I can stagger him relatively consistently. Ow. Supposed to grab this ledge. Oh, okay, that's locked. There is a door... I think we have to kill one more named mage. Maybe it's just two? Can we go to the next area? If we can go to the next area, I'm gonna do it. That's the steel key. A lot of knee breaking here. One of these doors is unlockable. Which door is it? Am I just wrong on where I'm headed? Here, let's reset here. I still really prefer to have the ability to craft mid-area. I think one of the weird things that I've noticed is that because of how it works, if you go to the obelisk, you're resetting the area. You're making things respawn. There is a distance calculation, I think, that James, the developer, talked about, where things don't respawn in a certain distance of you. But still, I don't always want to just touch every obelisk and make everything respawn. So it's nice to be able to reset your character with some potions otherwise. Kind of, again, more akin to Monster Hunter and not Dark Souls here. But yeah, if I touch this, I get a checkpoint and a save, a little icon in the top right corner, and I can fast travel or return to camp, whatever. I'm not going to do that quite yet. This, no, that's not the door either. But yeah. Just my own observation about the change that I made. So, story has it that the game did have field crafting in it back in the day, even before I playtested. And I was playtesting in kind of a late alpha stage, probably like 7 months before the game came out. And a lot of things were moving pretty quick back then, as they were prepping for the final release and some stuff. But okay, I think that's all my checkpoints that I need to get. Or want to get. It's easier to come up here while there's no active mage, because the necromancer spawns up there. Okay, we don't want to be here. We don't want to hit that. But yeah, the necromancer spawns right up on that throne area. And you can just grab the key, come down here. There's a chain whip. That would be kind of a reference to the first game having chain whips and stuff. These guys are just obnoxious. I don't think they're worth fighting most of the time. And apparently I just don't have the reach to deal with him. I'm just going to skip him. I usually do. There is a trap right there. If you get hit by it just right, it'll fling you right down below. And you'll have to traverse that bottom section again. But otherwise, I don't think there's any enemies in here. Just the trap and the green dude. And this dude is not an enemy. And he will give you the next rune, which apparently looks like a Z. The Z for Zephyr. No, it's not. And then he'll come back out here. So that's all you have to do at Bulgaron. If you don't want to do Bulgaron, or if you want to come back to it, that's all you have to do. Probably all I'm going to do. I'm going to skip straight to the next area. So I've heard complaints, and you're not wrong. Everyone's experience is a little subjective as well. But I've heard complaints about the game being grindy, and one of the things is I don't think it's grindy. I think people make it grindy. You don't have to do every mage. You can, but many of them are not in the order you think they are. I'm going to compare this to Dark Souls. I'm going to compare this also to... I probably should actually spend those Starstones. I'm going to compare this also to Diablo 1, where a lot of... what the right word is... we're just going to start grabbing stuff. That's vitality, that's strength. Yeah, there we go. 150 health, whatever. Got a bunch of strength. What's our strength? 16. Probably need more strength than we do vitality, but I'm just kind of grabbing things. I think this is a pure strength weapon. It is. It's a pure strength weapon. That's 100% fire, which is kind of interesting. Which makes sense because it came from a 100% fire boss, but otherwise would not make sense. Going back to what I was about to say. Let's go find the dude. Actually, turn that in, turn that in. We don't have another bud. I thought there was a bud down there. Maybe I missed it. We talked to that guy, now he's here. I guess I have to talk to this guy before it triggers that door. Okay. Who do I have to talk to? Ah, it's here. He's Hazeburn. I think the theme here is that, like, this is the knight and kind of the judge and the king. That the three are later based off of. As the first game comes after the second game. This is a prequel game. Interesting. You can't go to the Heart of Alterstone until you have that Z rune. I see that now. That's really interesting that they did that. So yeah, you can't go to Heart of Alterstone until you've beaten the Tireless Exalted and actually talk to the Green Knight that is in the sewers. So that seems intentional. Heart of Alterstone is a lot higher level, and that brings me to what I was about to say is a bunch of bosses are higher level than you think they are. So much like the first boss in Dark Souls 1, you're not intended to fight him. You have a broken weapon, all that jazz. You can, but you're not intended to. And same thing with Diablo 1. I use this example a lot. So, broken record and all that. But let's go to Ashbourne and get this dude. I wanna buy stuff from him. Primarily, I want to trade silver for money. Salt money. Diablo 1 starts off with first of all, Diablo 1 has random quests. So you're meant to play the game over and over through the random quests each time. And by the time you've played 3 difficulty levels through the game on the same character, you will have, on average, seen all 3 quests in every category. Not every quest, or not every category has 3 unique quests, and one of them is the first quest, which is the Butcher. He has a 2/3 chance to spawn instead of a 1/3 chance to spawn. And you know that he's spawned because there's always a dude outside the cathedral door. And you'll talk to that dude, and he'll say, you know, his entire party went down into the cathedral and died to this monstrous thing with a cleaver, and you know, they're hanging on the walls, something like that. You know, Diablo's not a pretty game per se in that context. That's all we can buy, but we can now break those and maybe get 1 level. There we go. Let's get rid of that. If you go down into the dungeon, you'll find the Butcher in Diablo 1. He will be found on level 2, floor 2 of the cathedral as you go down. And let's get some strength here. And maybe we could use some of our gray stuff to get rid of some of this vitality here. And those are also vitality. That's strength. There we go. 2 more points of strength. So we swapped it up. So instead of 19 vitality, we have 19 strength. Boom. Go to the mire next. What I'm trying to say in long form here is that you're not supposed to fight him right away. If you go and fight him, he's level 5, and you're on average level 2, maybe level 3. And while people know how to beat him now, he was meant to be a challenge then. And the entire mini story of that quest is basically everybody died, don't go fight him. And so when you fight him, you're not supposed to fight him. You're supposed to avoid him, which is what you're told to do, avoid him. And so kind of the same thing, Dark Souls doesn't tell you to do it, but Dark Souls has the first fat dragon thing. And that fat dragon thing is not meant to be fought, it's just kind of there. So, so same thing with Altar Stone and some of the many mages, of this game. You're not really meant to fight them right away. And I think that's one of the things that people kind of call the game grindy, because people want to, and this is not a judgment necessarily, it's just a clarification. Many players want to go and they want to fight every single mage because they think it's necessary. But when you touch one of these totems to see like their level and stuff, their level maybe isn't very prominent. And you're really intended to kind of look at some of that stuff to see you know, how strong they really are. Where is that mage? I think he went to the surface. That's what happened. So like the Stormmancer dude, I don't remember his name. The Electromancer. He's actually a really high level. In the early game, at least. We got... I don't have any. Just do some berries and wait it out. There we go. Which way did it go? If you stand still, it'll show you the line. There it is. But yeah, the Electromancer, you're not really meant to fight him like right away. And as such, if you go and you fight him, he can be kind of a challenge. If it's not, if it's your first playthrough, especially, we can fall down here. And so just, moving forward and coming back can be a huge change in how you experience the game, how grindy it may feel, and how strong a lot of the bosses are. And I actually like that kind of style of design of a game where things are bumpy. If you are used to Dark Souls kind of games, that's how a lot of them are. My experience is primarily Dark Souls 1. But for example, you can go down into the catacombs really early. A bunch of those enemies are much higher level and more dangerous. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. It means it's just dangerous. And that's kind of, I think, the goal. See if we can wake this dude up. Yeah. He doesn't wake up for them. He wakes up for me, but apparently they can target him. So, Oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Please don't kill me. What? This is not fair. He's just standing midair. No big deal. So this is pretty typical. The Venomancer will be in this room. Sometimes they'll fight it out a little bit before they before he disappears. This mage is generally not too difficult. I don't have any of the... I don't have any antidotes, so this could go bad, but I doubt... I have my doubts. There we go. There's my doubts. Proven wrong. No doubt. Let's see if we can get a red artifact thing. We did. Let's see if it's actually any good. Melee reach. He's level 6. So somebody we killed was level 7, but he's level 6. Because that makes sense. I will go for the melee reach. I think that's good. And there's these, like, llama dudes. I don't know why I call them llamas. They just remind me of llamas. They look like humanoid alpaca llama type things. We just want to go to the right here. He can run over that over and over and over. And seriously, why can he stand still on that? That's so crazy. Oh, there's ledge here. I don't know why there's ledge here. Whew! Everything does so much damage. As a modder, that's a big concern of mine. I think the first playthrough should be a little bit less crazy damage. There's a thing that I missed over there. That's the behind the section of where the green dude is. Craft up some of that. That's actually not how I wanted to do that, but whatever. Ah, it's still effective. It still kills things. Skillless shard, salt splinter. This is another Blue Blossom, which is completely useless to my build right now because I am not actually using mage stuff. But if you are using mage stuff, that's a big pickup right there. So at the top of this tree is Grindenia. Rendenia, or as I call her, just Grandma. I'm afraid to fight her, but I think I can kill her. That's not where I wanted to go. I was looking to see if there was another obelisk down here that might give. Wow, that happened and was painful. Okay, game. We need to stop doing that. There we go. I'm gonna fight her. Wish me luck. I have 10,000 salt. And missing potions. Just got like a wooden leg going on. Oh yeah, that seeking drop is really frustrating. She does go invisible. She typically doesn't use a whole lot of abilities while she's invisible. And lighting her on fire also helps. She has a kick when she hits half health. So watch out for that as I just get hit by it. And I rolled into it because I thought she'd turn. Let's chug these. She turned on me. At least the sound effects are good. There we go. It was a risky thing, but we did it. What do we get? An engraved box. Oh, we've gotten a couple of engraved box. Chance of free ammunition, silver find, salt find, restocking speed. Salt find could be good. I don't know if 6.8% is actually good enough, but I'm getting some kind of comparison issue because the percentage is, it's like 7.4 something, and this one's slightly lower apparently than that one. So it's saying it's red, which is, I don't like those kind of comparisons or issues. I think it should round up to a certain digit, but it's something I'd have to look at. I think the poise was pretty good there. Restocking speed versus salt find. I think the salt find is better. Okay. And there is our checkpoint that we I was looking for earlier. I wasn't sure where it was. Those were added later on. These fast travel checkpoints were added in the DLC. The free update. Put that down. We can put that down. And that's really kind of the perfect place to go back to camp anyway. It's really telling you can go back and come here. I appreciate that. I don't know if we can really craft anything of value here. Build rage on perfect block. Item find. Hastens grappling. Item find could be good. I think it might be a little late for the item find to be valuable in that case. I think that's one of the things that I probably dislike the most about the items in this game. I like the game, don't get me wrong. But some of the items just... let's see here. Rage on perfect block. And then, you know, heal on perfect block. Those are great. I like those. But like the first mage is fire defense. And you've just killed him. And then you need fire defense for what? Not really anything. And so like you've got this issue where the thing that you just killed, you get defense from. And this happens with the fire, the ice, the water, not the water one. At least 3 of them: poison, fire, ice, poison. So 3 out of the 5 that you can get to in the first area. And it's really 3 out of 4 if you don't go to the castle and fight the Electromancer. Is what it is. But those are kind of some of the things I'm looking at maybe changing up. I think fire defense as an item is not bad. It's just where it's positioned in the game feels really awkward. It's nice to have access to something that gives fire defense. It also might be nice to have alternatives. Right now, these kind of don't give you much. The attack bonus here is absolutely massive. That's 11 damage right there. What is that percentage-wise? 11-ish. So 20%, 25%, it's probably 25%. So if you have a full fire weapon and you go with, you know, you take one of these first fire weapons and you take this dagger, you're going to do a lot more damage than probably is intended for a lot of stuff. Like, probably should have crafted that if I wanted to min-max. But I don't find that super interesting to have like such a super powerful first item, I guess. So compare this to, say, like the Mossy Charm in the first game, right? You have the Mossy Charm in the first game, and of course I can't upgrade this because I need to go hunt fire mages now. In the first game, you get a bunch of access to a bunch of utility stuff right away. And so let's see here. We want to do more strength and more strength. And maybe we go down here and go towards this heavy armor. This is light armor down here. I'll just do that 1 point of Arcana. Here's the point of that, is I was going to go down this way. But yeah, like having a bunch of utility stuff at the beginning of the game. Mossy Charm is at the beginning of Salt 1, and you get a bunch of other stuff around that time too. I can't remember. It's Bloodflower Charm. I think you get that pretty early, probably closer to mid-game. And so there's just kind of a progression curve of, if you're struggling, you're going to struggle harder because you didn't get any of the utility stuff. You just got a bunch of the, you know, hyper-specific defense-offense stuff. And if you don't use them, or if you don't need them... Okay, here's an example. The first game has, I think it was the Faith Ring, which gives like holy resistance, and you get it like in from the knight in the Village of Smiles. You will basically never use this ring until the super late game, but you find it right away. I have problems with that kind of design because it's like, here's this thing that we think you might need, but you'll never use it. And there's only 2 bosses, I think, in the entire game, and maybe a couple enemies, but there's only 2 bosses in Salt and Sanctuary, that use holy damage. And one of them is Murdy LML, super, super, super optional. And she does 100%. She doesn't do any other damage type. And then the other is the Coveted. I'm pretty sure the Coveted does holy damage. So not really useful for hours of the game, at least for the first playthrough, unless you're speeding through somehow. You absolutely can speed through and see those bosses a lot faster than what I'm saying, but first playthrough, you're probably not seeing the Coveted in your first hour. So that's just kind of my personal beef with a lot of the progression curve. Progression curve is it's one of my many personal focuses when I look at things. Is how am I progressing? How does this progression matter? How does it feel different? Well, at least we can wear the hood. We'll wear that. We're blind. We'll blindfold bag. So that's kind of my rant for the end of the video, is just that a lot of the items come across as being a bit haphazard or too focused at the wrong time. One of the original ones is the Chronomancer Amulet. It's the 4th world. It's the second boss of the 4th world, because you have to go through the 2 that remain first. And you beat the Chronomancer and you can craft the 50% speed up of crafting items. Restock speed. 50% speed up of restock speed. This is great, but it's in the 4th world from the second boss of the 4th world. So you've potentially beaten 16 bosses or something like that by this point, and restocking speed is probably not your biggest priority. In this mod, that same amulet is actually a 5% movement speed, 5% attack speed, 5% cast speed, 5% roll speed type amulet. It's just kind of 5% of everything. I may just kind of limit it a little bit more, but the idea is that it just makes you faster, right? And this goes a lot better, in my opinion, with the Chronomancer and where it's located. Here's this big combat boost near the end of the game that you could go for. Do you want 10% or 20% damage from an amulet? Or do you want, because you can get that from the Corpomancer, or do you want speed from an amulet that's a little bit less? So the Corpomancer amulet, in the base game, I think it's 10% bonus damage to everything. It's a global bonus. So it affects all your weapons, all your damage, 10% bonus. Or, you could have potentially this amulet where it's, 5% speed instead. Now, speed can be very valuable, and the 5% speed could be actually stronger than the 10% damage at that point in the game. But those are kind of options and progression curves where it's spiky. It's not flat. It's not whatever, but it is a lot of choices. It's more RPG. It's more interactive. It's what it is. But restocking speed at that same point in the progression curve feels really unnecessary and maybe even pointless. It doesn't help you do a speed run per se. It doesn't help you do some kind of challenge run. There's nothing really unique about it. And then it's repeated on another mage further into the game. One of the very last mages has the same amulet bonus. So same slot, same bonus. It's again 50%. So I have removed it from the Chronomancer. I don't think I've removed it from, can't remember who it is. Maybe it's Bibliomancer or Kinetomancer. It's one of those two, as I'm pretty sure it's a World 5 mage. So those kind of bonuses, I'm removing them and switching them around. So this mod can be great for a second playthrough or an alternative playthrough because I'm going to be moving things around. a lot of the bonuses and buffs are going to be very, very similar, but they're going to be different, different locations, different feelings, and different purposes. And a lot of the damage of the enemies is going to be targeted nerfs. So right now I've got like 2 enemies that do 20% less damage. And in the future, I hope to be able to get a few more enemies kind of targeted there. And then I may also do a scaling nerf where as enemies level up, they get a certain damage and health bonus. And similar, I may nerf some of that just slightly. So instead of getting, I don't know, 27% damage bonus, they might get 24% damage bonus. And this might change the breakpoint of how many times they have to hit you. I look up as a designer, modder, whatever, I look a lot at the time to kill or hits to kill specifically. So if an enemy can kill you in 3 hits, but they have a flurry of 3 hits, that's kind of frustrating because you're not able to survive it. If you get caught, you're dead. But if they have a flurry of 3 hits and that takes 5 hits to kill you, now it's a flurry of 2. Well, 2 times of the flurry. You're still dead if there's 2 of that enemy because they can use that flurry at the same time. So the dead samurai have a 3-hit flurry like that in the Temple of 11. And so that's why they got nerfed. That flurry, because you can be dealing with 3 of those dudes and they could be ledge guarding even. They can jump around. They can do a regular stab, or they can do the 3-hit flurry, or they can do a single hit. And so when you're dealing with 3 of them, but 2 of them can insta-kill you, I think that's a problem. Because of just how it plays out. And it's really hard to aggro only one of those sometimes, because if you're in a hunt, then the haze burnt will aggro them instead. And they'll probably kill the haze burnt and then be just standing around in an aggroed state. So there's just little tedious nuances that I disagree with. I love the game by itself, but if you want an alternative version, this is it for you. And you can parry and riposte the entire game. If you have Thorns damage, you can parry riposte the entire game. So there's that. Until next time, I'm going to be continuing on this series, probably in hour segments, kind of like this one. I'll be doing a video probably once a week, as that's all that I really have time to focus on some of this YouTube stuff. I had a lot more time in the past and a different purpose and focus on it as well. So enjoy the continued versions of this mod. I will be trying to update it and tweak it as I move forward. So if you're touching this mod, please make sure to make bug reports on Nexus Mods, or if you want your bugs acknowledged a little faster, come to the Discord. I don't check Nexus Mods on a regular basis. But come to the Discord, discuss things, and we can maybe get some more effects or changes or nerfs or buffs across the board. Your opinions matter and can help me make decisions. Can't promise anything, but it can help me make decisions. So thanks for watching. See you next time.